Imagine you lost a family member, but you didn't recently lose this family member. You lost this family member 1, 2, 5, 8 years ago. And you've become content. You've become used to not experiencing this person in this realm. But sometimes you have that feeling of missing them. You have that feeling of grief come up. And sometimes that's never an ending. That's a never ending thing. Not to say that it's going to be a continuous thing, but you're going to have moments, you're going to have memories that remind you of said people. This is part 3, the dream. So, back in 2023, I had a dream of my deceased granny, which I talked about in part 2. But this wasn't any ordinary dream. She had visited me once before, in the sense of me actually not physically, but seeing her form, seeing her face in the dream, and like talking to her, and like she talking back to me, and it being like a situation. That happened only one other time, and that happened like years ago. That happened maybe 2018, 2019. She passed in like 2015. And so this is 2023. Some years had passed. Y'all know I didn't get to go to her funeral. And I just, there was bits of closure I just didn't have. And it was a little hard, especially when you lose someone that you feel has unconditionally loved you, and you maybe have not experienced that, since to an extent. And so I was in her home, and it felt like it feels any other day. It felt empty, that home used to be a home of 6-7 people, 5, 6, 7 people at a time. It used to be full of life, but now you stand in it and it's empty. You can feel, that there's something meaningful happened here. Something great happened here. Greatness happened here. But when you stand in it alone, and the person that you experienced at home with and you were introduced to that home by is gone, it feels a little different. It feels a little empty. And sometimes I low-key prefer that. Y'all may not think I was gonna say, but I low-key prefer that, because if I'm feeling a spirit, I'm feeling a whatever, I need to know I know what it is. I don't like feeling no energy and I don't know what that. I'll be like, who is that? What is that? I don't know who that is. But I digress. So I'm in this dream, and I'm in my grandmother's hallway, and all of a sudden music starts to play, and it's this song. Mind you, this is a classic. We all know this song, this, that, the other. I've never known my granny to like this song. I've learned in recent months from my uncle that she wasn't necessarily like a specific music head, but she liked whatever somebody put on, whatever she was gonna listen to, basically. So she wasn't that picky when it came to music. And so this song came on, and I was, like, oh, okay, this is my song. I like this song. Okay. I had just recently added it to my library. I've always known the song, but I had just recently added it to my library, and I was like, oh, okay, this is my song. And then I hear, Chris. And the way my grandmother would call our names, she would say something to the effect, she would be like, let's say we go out into the woods or something, and she's trying to call us back, and the woods by her house, she had woods by her house at the time, but since became housing, people, they put housing there, and you would hear her, Chris, Chris. She'd be like, Chris, Chris. She add a in front. I don't know what that was, but she'd be like, Chris, like in her real high pitched voice. But I heard her calling to me in her bedroom, which was like, right, down the hallway and to the left. Once you pass that little catty corner, her bedroom is there. And then I went in there and I saw her again. After all these years, after that last time she visited me and told me everything was going to be okay, I saw her again. And I was gagging. For some people's religions, like this, y'all may say that's a demon or whatever. I know my people when I see my people. I know y'all can say that the entities copy these individuals, or like your memories of those people, or maybe I'm just having this dream for comfort. But I know I just genuinely internally do not feel like this was a figment of my imagination. I definitely feel like my imagination probably played some parts in it, but this was genuine, and it was unprompted. I was not like heavily thinking about her at the time, and for her to just randomly show up like this, somewhat randomly show up in my dream, was a little gagging. And as the beat started to drop, she said, "Dance with me." And we literally just started dancing, and I was just so filled with joy. Y'all know I love to dance. I was just so filled with joy. We were dancing. We were like doing the little holding hands and dancing and stuff, and just really just having a good time. And once the music started to die down, she was gone. That was her way of saying before she or her spirit or whatever transitions to this next level, or does whatever she needs to do. I feel like those spirits sometimes kind of stick around in a place that they can still come to us for a time, and then eventually I guess they make their amends with the people that are still living or whatever they need to do, and they transition to other things, or they go and do other things, or they come reincarnate, or whatever y'all believe. But that's kind of how I feel about it. And I think that was her way. And we embraced each other before she disappeared, actually. Like, we hugged and stuff, and it was just like, to be able to hug that person that one last time, even though it's in a dream, it felt very real. I'm a very lucid dreamer, and so it felt very real. I smelled her smells, and her back felt the same. And it was kind of crazy. But I think that was her way of saying, like, okay, I think you're gonna be good now. I understand the grief and all the things, but I think she really just wanted to try to give me closure, like for real, because I had not really had that closure. And I think that moment was so beautiful, even though it was in a dream. It was so beautiful that I appreciated it so much, and I still appreciate it. Even if there was a figment of my imagination, which I don't think it is, I think it's beautiful for our ancestors and for our people to see us sometimes struggling, to see us in our low moments and know we're going through it, and to come and visit us, come and comfort us. And when no other thing can, they come even after their physical body has died. They still, it reminds you that these people are still out there watching over you, still looking after you and all the things. And so after that moment, I instantly attached Butterfly Princess to the dream. It just, I don't know. Ever since I was younger, butterflies have always kind of represented like the ethereal, have always represented like spirits, in my opinion. Because around here, it wasn't like we just, in America we have a lot of cut lawns and stuff. We don't have a lot of native plants per se, and so you're not necessarily gonna see a whole bunch of butterflies all the time. And so when I would see a butterfly, specifically a cloudless sulfur, it felt magical, because the way they look and shine in the light, it's like a little orb, and it's like, it's like it just kind of is like a reminder. I don't know if I've ever seen it as like, always seen it as like this is a past one, or whatever. It just felt like at the time when I was young, it felt like, oh, this is like God, this is spirit, this is something more than just a butterfly in this moment. And so butterflies have kind of always represented that, well, have more so represented that to me, more so now. And that's why all these things are connected to me, because we love butterflies, they're beautiful and all the things, but butterflies specifically have a deeper meaning for me. They have a spiritual meaning for me. So when I see them, it's like, it's a sign. It reminds me that my ancestors are with me and that they are watching me, but it also is just a sign. It's just a reminder of how beautiful things are, beautiful the earth can be, and just how. And then when I learned more about butterflies and learned that a lot of species, they don't really last that long, they don't really live that long, but 2 weeks, or some species migrate like birds. They migrate down south to the equator, they go to Jamaica, they go to the Caribbean islands and stuff, and continue this cycle and just continue life, and it's just beautiful. Even with their transformation from caterpillar to butterfly, it's just like a lot of times, that caterpillar can go unnoticed, or people don't fully appreciate that caterpillar just yet until it becomes the butterfly. But that caterpillar, I don't know, it's not sentient or anything like that, but the thing that is always going to happen is it's going to go in its cocooning mode. It's going to go into its solitude. It's going to work on itself. It's going to grow. It's going to build, and it's going to come out all beautiful. And then the world is going to be like, oh my gosh, how did they do that so fast? She has on my outfit, y'all. But the world is gonna, the world appreciates you then. You know what I mean? And it just represents to me that we should appreciate people at all their stages, love on people at all their stages, give people grace at all their stages, and to help them transform and transition into those new spaces in life and those new places. But I just want to close this off by saying thank you, Granny, for visiting me that time, child. You know it was a time, girl. Child, I know you listening, child. It was a time. And I get, little flashes of memories that I feel like, my ancestors give to me and stuff, or like that, past ones and stuff. And it gives me a little moment to chuckle, to laugh, to experience that moment again, and then not be filled with grief, but just filled with just joy. Because I'm always looking for the brighter thing. And yeah, I just want to thank you, grandchild, for visiting me. And it wouldn't feel right to just release these pictures without telling this story, or without really showing the things that go on behind the scenes with the artist. Because a lot of times we see the final thing, but we don't really look at what all the spiritual healing and the growth and the emotional development this person has had to do to get to this point, to make this art, especially when they're an intentional artist, not just just making things, which that I think that's artistic in its own way, but that artists that are very intentional about their art, are very serious about it, and they care about it, and they're sensitive about it.
Now keep in mind that I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit.
They put their whole being into things. And in this consumer society, in this capitalistic society, a lot of times it just feels like I'm putting all this energy, all this effort into something for it to either just be consumed, or the full people in this oversaturated thing sometimes can be like, I'm full. I don't have to have that, And it can be very disheartening and very invalidating and all the things. But I say all this to say, I move with intention, and I just wanted to share, this story with y'all, because I feel like it was very profound, and I feel like it could be comforting to someone else, especially someone that's dealing with grief, or experiencing loss, or other things. But yeah, and just because your people don't visit you, they don't mean nothing per se. You might get other signs, or maybe that's just not how they communicate with you, or maybe whatever. Maybe that's just not your culture. Maybe that's just not your religion. But your people are watching you. I feel your people are watching you, and hopefully that's somewhat comforting to people. And yeah, so in part 4, well, before I get to part 4, I want y'all to like this video. I want y'all to repost this video. I want y'all to subscribe. I want y'all to hype the video if that's available. I just want y'all to just like really share this out, or share this to somebody that may have experienced some of these things, or share this with somebody that you know may be going through some things with grief and stuff. And thank y'all for listening. And in part 4, we're going to get into the makeup, the styling. It's going to be a shorter part. We're going to get into makeup, the styling, how I came up with the look, or how I, from the page to the actual look, how did we get here? And then y'all are going to get those beautiful pictures that I'm revising right now. We'll get into it, y'all. We'll get into it. I'll see y'all later. Bye. Every man has his own special dream, and your dream's just about to come true. Life's not as bad as it may seem if you open your eyes to what's in front of you. We are dream girls, boys, we'll make you happy. Yeah, yeah. We are dream girls, boys, we'll always care. We are dream girls will never leave you. No, no. And all you have to do is dream. All you have to do is dream. All you have to do is dream. Baby, we'll be there, yeah. We are dream girls, oh, dream girls, oh. All you have to do is dream. All you have to do is dream. Just dream it, baby. We'll be there. We'll be there. We'll be there. We'll be there. Thank you all for listening.